Welcome back. A startling recent report from Second Harvest Food Bank and Public Health Madison, Dane County shows that more people are food insecure now than they were during the pandemic.
The report shows 1 in 10 people in Dane County is considered food insecure, including 1 in 8 children. Michelle Orgay is the executive director of Second Harvest Food Bank. Welcome to Live at 4. Hello.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We hear the term food insecure quite a bit. What does it mean, and what does it look like? Who does it affect?
Food insecurity is the term used for when folks don't have access to enough nutritious food to have an active and healthy life. And it can affect folks in different degrees, different intensities at different times of the year, but it affects about 130,000 folks in the 16 county service area that Second Harvest works within in southwestern Wisconsin. Yeah.
Wow, that's sobering. You've been with Second Harvest 6 years. In the time that you've been there, help us put in perspective what the increase in demand looks like.
Yes, I've been at Second Harvest for 6 years, but I've been in food banking since 2001, and I've just seen it increase a lot. And it has increased, you know, during the pandemic we were distributing, or prior to the pandemic we were distributing this much food, and during the pandemic it doubled, and now it's twice as much as we were distributing during the pandemic. And you know, we thought it was a lot during the pandemic, and we rose to that challenge, and now it's twice as much as that, and it's not slowing down. We're on pace to distribute more this year. We distributed more last year than ever before, and we're on pace to go. Yep, and we're on pace to do another record. It's startling, and it's not a record we want to have to break, but we're thanks to the support of the community, we're hoping to be able to rise to that occasion again.
Yeah. And people who might be food insecure, I think sometimes we have these preconceived notions that someone who's food insecure is a certain type of person, but it can affect anyone. It can be someone who is living paycheck to paycheck or just needs a little extra help. So this seems like really significant.
Yes, for the lowest wage earners, paychecks have increased, but it has not increased at the percentage that costs have. And while food insecurity affects the folks that are experiencing it, it also affects folks who, if your kid is in class with somebody who's experiencing food insecurity, it affects your kids because the teacher has to spend more time with the other kids, right? And if you're working with folks who are experiencing food insecurity, then there's absenteeism, there's health issues, they can't contribute as much. It affects everyone, even if it isn't affecting somebody directly, it affects everyone in some way or another.
You rely primarily on donations, and we are in a very generous community, but are you worried that this is going to be unsustainable?
Yes, at a time where need is higher than ever before, where our partners are seeing twice as many folks coming for food assistance and food support, folks who've never come for food support before, we're concerned. And resources are lower and need is higher. It's not a good combination, and we need support more than ever. There are a lot of challenges facing folks and facing Second Harvest and our partners, and we need the community support to fill that gap more than ever. So financial donations are vital.
Yeah. With all this in mind, what does the future look like?
Future looks like hard work. We're here for it, but we can't do it without the support of our partners, our community, and the report that you mentioned has some information in it about how folks can help, the reasons for this, the data. There are facts in there, and that's at secondharvestsw, as in southwest.org/report.
It's such a multi-layered onion, but is there a way to identify why this is such a big problem right now? I mean, it's, as you said, higher wages, but higher cost of living as well. And
I think it's a bit of a delayed effect too. During the pandemic, there were a lot more supports for folks. There were support for folks,
a good point.
And there were eviction moratoriums. There were supports. There were the tax credits that folks were able to access for children, child tax credits. There were food supports. There were increased SNAP benefits, which were formerly known as food stamps, right? Food share, and those left, and now there's other supports for folks. They just keep decreasing. So I think it's on top of the increased challenge that folks are seeing, the increased costs, on top of the decreased support for folks. It's a lot of combination of things.
And Michelle, before we go, very quickly, where can people go if they want to help?
They can visit our website, secondharvestsw.org, and or they can go to the websites of the partners in their community to find out. So if they're not local here in Madison, they can find out where in their communities they can support their own folks.
Very good. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for putting
so
out the
much.
call today. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Jacob